Hummily bebbly zibbly bubbly hummily bebbly zibbly bop.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Ray,
Yes.
to the Vespasian, episode 7. Happy birthday for last week, Emperor Ray. May a
Thank
stable
you.
of young men always be coming behind you. Did you like the little artwork I made up for you?
I did. It tickled me in a good way. So no, thank you for that. That was very
Is that
nice.
me, the picture tickling you, or the stable of young
Yeah.
men coming
You
behind
know,
you?
we don't need to-
tickling, or both.
Yeah. I mean, why does it have to be one or the other?
57?
No, 59.
8. 9?
Yeah.
You're that much older than me. Fuck, I
Yeah.
thought it was 2 years.
Yeah.
You're 4 years older
4
than me.
years.
Jesus.
Yep.
Whoa.
Don't fill a
And
day
did you have a
over
nice birthday?
65. There were moments. There were moments that were good, but basically, you know, you just closer to death, closer to your kids moving out and leaving you. You know, just all the good stuff.
That's the good part. What's the bad part?
No, we're slightly fond of our children, so it's sad. Kiki will be moving out next year, maybe Sophie as well. So it'll just be Heather and I, and we looked at each other and went like, just you and me. I don't know. I don't know if we could do this. So
Yeah.
probably have an open marriage next year, but we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. I think Heather already does, but okay. What else has been going on?
Let's see here. I don't, which order should I? Okay, I'll just say this real quick. So tomorrow, I have to whisper this. Tomorrow, I'm putting down, no, that came out wrong. No, tomorrow, I'm having put down our 18-year-old cat. She just can't.
Oh.
Yeah, the girls are devastated. Oh. So, what are you gonna?
That's very sad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, that's.
Well, I normally, and I don't, you know, I don't.
What's your cat's name? I've never heard you talk about your cat. You're always talking about you walking your dog on the video. I never see you walking your cat.
Well,
what's your cat's name?
Pie. There was 2 sisters. One was Apple. One was Pie. We got rid of Apple because she was dangerous. She thought she was a shark on land. But we had Pie for 18 years since Kiki was 2, and she's a part of the family.
Wow.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be. Yes. Yeah,
so you and I have been working together for 12 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never heard you mention Pie once.
I'm not.
Well, so you can't be that sad about this, I got to say, because 12 years,
right?
Hours,
yeah,
hours together every week.
Yeah.
For 12 years.
Yeah.
52 weeks a year, 12 times 52, let's say roughly 600
That's a shit ton of hours.
Weeks.
Right. Yeah.
By 2 hours.
I hear you.
At least.
I hear you. Yeah.
That's hold on a second. What did I say?
A shit ton. 600
weeks by 2 hours, 1,200 hours at least. Because some of those early days, we were talking for like 4 hours.
Right.
It's at least 1,300 hours you and I have spent talking, recording shows.
Look.
Never once have you mentioned this pussy.
I'm not.
And you talk about pussy nonstop.
How much I like it, how much I'm afraid of it, how much I am one. The point is, I'm not a cat person. I feel for my family members. I feel for my family members. Yeah. Now,
me too.
Yeah.
Well,
somewhat.
R.I.P.P.I. R.I.P.P.I.
There we go.
R.I.P. Pie for tomorrow.
Now that I've generated all this goodwill, I'm gonna
maximum sympathy.
Thank you. I'm going to destroy it in one stroke, one swift stroke. I don't. I thought
you were saying you're going to put the cat down with one stroke. I thought you were saying you're going to hit the cat with a shovel or with your machete like you do the snakes there for a second. I was like, what?
Do you know how much?
Hold on, you're doing it yourself? You're just going, oh, kids, it's time. Everybody
gather around.
Like Jon Snow, or no, not Jon Snow, the King of the North, having to put down a guy in the first episode of Game of Thrones. He just, all right, everyone gather around. We're going to behead this guy. Right. Everyone watch. Kids, don't cover your eyes.
Right. This
watch.
Is a lesson.
You need to see this.
Look, normally, look, I'm just going to say it.
Life is short, kids. Everyone gather around.
In this economy, if I have the chance to save a couple bucks, I'm not above bashing ahead. No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. But I will ruin all the goodwill that I've just generated vis-a-vis sympathy. I don't have any notes for tonight, and I'm a little shocked if you do. I thought we were going to be raptured, so I just kind of cruised. I'm not gonna lie, I pretty much cruised this week, which is
but that's been your excuse for 10 of the last 12 years.
Yeah, but
sorry, I thought I was going to be raptured this week. I didn't.
But I really thought
there's always a rapture. There's always a rapture coming in your world.
It's like my 20th rapture. Yeah. But I guess I'm just not checking all the boxes. So but I'll try to hang as much as I can.
Well, you're either going to get raptured or Charlie Kirked. I mean, it's one or the other, really.
Or pied. You never know. A shovel to the head.
Well, a couple of things I need before we get into the show.
Yes.
I want to shout out to our longtime Cold War listener, Bastian from Germania, I think.
Right.
Sent to celebrate our upcoming 300th episode of the Cold War, sent me a very expensive bottle of Zacapa rum.
Yeah.
Tried to send you something, but apparently very difficult for him to send you. I just said, send it to me and I'll look after it for Ray.
Again,
I'll give it to him the next time I see him.
I thought I was being raptured.
So thank you. That was very generous.
Yes.
Like, we have one really generous
and the bunch of cunts
listener.
Just a total a bushel. A cunts, if you will. I don't know.
But that was nice. I really appreciate that, Bastian. If you're listening to this, I want to shout out a happy birthday to my favorite composer, Shostakovich.
Right.
Would have been his birthday yesterday.
Nice.
I want to do a shout out to Stanislav Petrov, because today, the 26th of September, is Stanislav Petrov Day. I like to, not his birthday, but the day that he decided not to start World War III.
Thanks.
I'd like to remember him. Shout out a toast to Stanny.
Yes.
Good old Stano. And it was also the anniversary of my dad's death yesterday, the same day as Shostakovich's birthday. 24 years ago, my father died. And
no wonder you're so
one of my sons, Hunter, used one of my sons used AI to merge a photograph of my dad from a couple of years before he died, or a year before he died, and a photo of me from about a year ago, standing together with our arms around each other. So my dad would have been about 51. I would have been about 54. Got to say, I look like I'm in damn better shape than he was at that age. And it was a year before he died, so not surprised.
Right.
But that was cute. That's nice.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah. Well, with all of that.
Yeah. Very emotional show tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, a lot going on. And we're picking up. This is Vespasian, just to remind you, because it's been 8 minutes since we said this. Vespasian, number 7. We're going to continue the story reading from Tacitus. We have been talking about Tacitus and the Jews, Tacitus's views on the Jews. But we're going to move on. So he did all of that introduction to the Jews just to basically get us ready for the story that Vespasian is now confirmed on the throne. It's the year 70 CE, and he sends his oldest son, Titus, down to finish the war with the Jews. And I've been thinking, Ray, we should really do this whole war in more detail. I think we need to break this out and do a deep dive.
Well, as you know, I'm pro-war, so I think that's a great idea.
Are you the Department of War now? Have you changed your name to Ray Department of War Harris?
I've applied to several positions, so we'll just see how it goes. I'll let you know.
We'll do what we can do today, but I think at some point we're going to stop and do the whole thing because it's kind of central to the rise of Christianity, as I pointed out in my film. It's also the central to the rise of modern Judaism, but the destruction of the temple, for the kids out there who haven't seen my documentary, the destruction of the temple by the Romans forced the Jews to come up with new ideas for how to be good Jews.
Right.
Well, we can't sacrifice in the temple anymore, which was always our shtick. Now what do we do?
Right.
Some of them decided to become like studiers of the book. All right, well, let's just go and study the book then, and so figure out what's going on here.
Yeah.
Others decided, well, let's invent Jesus and do that thing, and we'll borrow a little bit of Augustus's story. We'll borrow a little bit of Tiberius's story, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of Isis, a little bit of Osiris, a little bit of
the hits.
A little bit of the god of the grape, Dionysus. Throw them all together. What do you got? Bibbly bobbly boo. Jesus. That was his first name. It was the story of Bibbly bobbly boo.
And marketing said
initially
we can't keep that name. We're just going to go.
How do we even fucking spell that? They were like, I can't even.
How many B's? How many? No, too much.
Yeah,
too much. So they cut it. Where were we?
Just to remind people what this is all about, the war against the Jews. Really, a little bit of a potted background. Because we've been talking about it bits and pieces. Like I did an episode with Stephen Dando Collins about this like fucking 5 years ago. I don't know how long people have been listening to this show.
Right.
But in May of 66 CE, while Nero was still around and kicking, violence erupted in the city of Caesarea over a land dispute. Some young Jews resisted. The governor of the region, the Roman governor Florus, backed a Greek guy who was part of the land dispute.
Yeah.
And he wanted to build something. Some Jews didn't want him to build something. Prominent Jews paid Florus 8 talents to stop the Greek from building this property that he wanted to build, but he took the money and went, "What? What money? I don't remember any money. Did you get a receipt?" He didn't get a receipt.
Thank you.
What? No.
You don't? Well.
So look, I
get
bribes all the time. I don't.
can't
You expect me to pay attention to the bribes?
I can't keep you straight. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to jump in my new Mercedes. I've got an appointment, so. See you later. Let me know if you find that receipt.
And then on Shabbat, a very holy Jewish day, the Greek decided to desecrate the synagogue by sacrificing a bird on a chamber pot.
Sure.
Not sure if it was the sacrificing of the bird or the chamber pot, which was the issue there, but that sparked some violence between the Jews and the Greek community there. Local cavalry failed to intervene. Jews who complained to Florus were arrested for being a pain in the ass.
Right.
Afterwards, Florus arrived in Jerusalem, seized 17 talents from the temple treasury, saying he needed it for governmental purposes.
That sounds right.
There were mass protests. Crowds were mocking him by passing around a basket to collect alms for him, like he was a beggar.
Tacky.
When the Sanhedrin, the Jewish high court, refused to surrender the offenders who were besmirching his rep, Florus ordered his troops to attack the Upper Agora. It was a marketplace in Jerusalem, in the affluent part of the upper city.
Right.
Reportedly killed 3,600 people. It's probably exaggerated. Might have been 10, 15, 20 people, but the Jewish historians like to exaggerate.
You add on some zeros.
Like today, the Israelis like to under-exaggerate. What's the opposite of exaggerate? Subburgate. About how many 10,000s of people they've killed in their ongoing genocide in Gaza.
Yeah.
Among the victims were some wealthy Jews who were Roman citizens. They were equestrians, and this causes a whole bunch of issues. The soldiers got out of control, the Roman soldiers. They're looting, they're taking prisoners. Spirals out of control. The governor of Syria, Florus's boss, Cestius Gallus, invaded Judea, gets defeated.
Yeah.
And a Jewish provisional government is set up, led by Ananus, Ben Ananus.
Right. I'm not.
Shit. Poop. Arsehole, basically, was his name. Arsehole, son of arsehole. Ananus, son of Ananus. Really?
Yeah. Lack of imagination.
Arsehole son of arsehole.
There's a lot of pride in that
I'm an arsehole,
Right.
just like my father was before me and his father before him.
I come from a long
We're all
line
arseholes.
of assholes. Yeah.
That's why they let him lead the government. He was a bit of an arsehole.
Right.
In 67, Vespasian was sent down by Nero to suppress the revolt, invaded Galilee, captured a number of places called Yodfat, the siege of Yodfat. Rebels and refugees fled to Jerusalem. The government was overthrown. And then there ended up being like basically a Jewish civil war for control of the rebel activities in Jerusalem. There's three guys, Eleazar ben Simon, John of Giscalia, and Simon bar Giora. Three factions. There's the Zealots, there's the other guys, and some other guys. They're all claiming to be the man,
top ass,
and they end up fighting each other for control of.
Excuse me.
And as Napoleon said while he was watching this, never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. Vespasian was like, "Yeah, I think I'll just go take the throne of Rome while you guys fight it out amongst yourselves. We'll be back in 6 months."
Because if I remember correctly, depending on which time period we're talking about, a lot of the area was subdued except for this city of Jerusalem. And you've got these three leaders, military leaders inside. They're each in charge of a section or a wall. And they're busy killing each other with Romans outside ready to kill all of them. So not the best use of their time and resources, but for them, it's, I guess, it's all politics are local, right? They each want to be the captain of the Titanic as it goes down. Again, I don't understand that, but that's why things like this fall apart, because there's so much infighting. Everybody wants to be the top dog, even though there's a much bigger enemy right outside your door.
Everybody wants to rule Jerusalem.
Nice.
The Jerusalem. That's where you went with that? Okay.
Where'd you go?
Tacitus. I said Jerusalem, not the Jerusalem. I think you went the Jerusalem.
You know what? I'll fix it in post.
Don't
worry about it. Don't worry about it.
That's how they call it in the hood. Hey, I'm heading down the Jerusalem. Going to the Ruse.
But you don't know, my people. We've suffered. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, you're not only 118 Navajo now. You're Jewish as well. Really?
There was
you're just collecting them all. What do you think? This is fucking Pokemons? You got to collect all the minorities.
Look, when I was conceived,
gay. Well, we've already done that. Yeah. What else you got?
When I was conceived,
you're a gay Jewish Native American.
Exactly. I mean trifecta
with autism.
Exactly. Because my mom took Tylenol, even though Tylenol was
because you took Tylenol.
She took it.
You take Tylenol once,
snorting it.
You take it once, you get all
Tylenol. Sorry, go ahead.
You're president.
Yeah.
Oh my God! In this last week.
Oh, he's on a roll, baby. He's on a roll.
By the way, shout out to whoever it was who turned off the escalator and the teleprompter at the UN.
Big props.
Not just Stanislav Petrov Day. We need to have a day of celebration for the guys who turned off the escalator
because
as soon as he stepped on it and then turned off the teleprompter. That was just. That was A1 trolling right there.
Well, I think
doesn't get any better than that.
I think the idea was if he walked up the stairs, there's a decent chance he would have a heart attack. I don't know if that's what they were going for. It was just a minor inconvenience. I wasn't there, but people like that should be handed awards and be allowed to speak for a full 5 minutes on the stage. I would look forward to that.
Yeah, we need a concert, celebration concert for those people.
Exactly.
Tacitus says the Jews formed their line close under the walls, whence if successful they might venture to advance, and where if repulsed they had a refuge at hand.
Fuck.
So Titus has got his troops lined up outside of Jerusalem. The Jews are lined up. They're ready to go out, have some skirmishes. Titus sent some cavalry with some light infantry to attack them. There's no decisive result. The Jews scurry back inside of the walls.
Yeah.
And this goes on for a series of days, little skirmishes. The Jews attack or they get attacked. They venture out. They run back inside. They come out. They run back inside.
Yeah.
Because, again, of course, Jerusalem is one of the great fortresses of the ancient world.
Exactly. This place was built to last. I think that's a tagline for something.
After it was destroyed.
After
it had been destroyed,
but yeah, 2.0.
They rebuilt it.
2.0, bigger and better.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know. Yeah. No, from what I remember reading, it was like between that and what Pompey did to it. They're like, we really need to rebuild this with defense in mind, not just beauty or whatever, but we really did. Third time, that's on us. We need to be ready for this. And from what I can tell, which you're going to get into, they spared almost no expense building this walled city. Very impressive fortification.
Yeah, Tacitus goes into some detail here. First of all, though, he says that the Romans had encircled Jerusalem. They could have just waited to starve them out.
Right.
But the Roman soldiers wanted a bit of glory.
Exactly.
There's no glory in just sitting around like the Germans at Leningrad, sitting around for 832 days or 872 days, whatever. How long was the siege of Leningrad, Ray? Quick.
It was from fall of 1941 till. Anyways, I think it was close to 1,000 days. But I could reenact
872 days. I think
I could reenact what happened for you outside of Jerusalem, if you like me to. Go ahead.
I know. I want to talk about Leningrad because it's Shostakovich's birthday.
Oh, please.
I've been obsessed.
Yeah.
With his Seventh Symphony, which, if you haven't heard it, you must go listen to his. Do you know the story about his Seventh Symphony? Have you done that on your? We should do that for your World War II show and the Cold War show.
Sure.
Seventh Symphony.
Yeah.
I want to do a series on Shostakovich because Shostakovich on our Cold War series. Yeah. So the story is Leningrad. It's got nothing to do with fucking Jerusalem.
Well, that's
but
why
just
we're
bear
here.
with me here, folks.
That's why we're here.
Side note. Yeah.
Sidebar, Your Honor.
Leningrad, St. Petersburg, was Shostakovich's home city.
Mm.
And he was there when the siege of Leningrad began in 1941. Mm. He wanted to stay, but he was like considered the greatest composer in the Soviet Union at the time and the greatest composer probably in the world, living composer in the world at the time. So they wouldn't let him stay there. I think he was there for the first 6 weeks and they got him and his family out. But he started composing his Seventh Symphony while he was there, and then he finished it over the next couple of months when he was sent to a city far away from the front. And it was performed in Leningrad and then performed around the world to great acclaim. Arturo Toscanini did the first performance of it that was broadcast over NBC in the US, and it was recorded. It was a big deal in London. It was a big deal all around the world. But the people were starving in Leningrad because the Russians, after a couple of weeks of the Germans, after a couple of weeks of the siege, realized we're not going to take this quickly, so they just decided to starve them out.
Right.
People of Leningrad were surviving on rations of 120 grams of bread a day, and the bread was made out of sawdust and wood chips.
Yeah.
And they were eating cats and dogs and rats and then each other.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually. There was cannibalism going on. But they had to put together an orchestra. The conductor, most of the orchestra had been moved out of the city, including Mavrinsky, who was the guy who normally did the premiere of Shostakovich's works, but there was one conductor, Eliasberg, was there, so he had to put together an orchestra. But there was only 25 members of the usual orchestra there, and the orchestra is normally 70, 80 people strong, right? There was only 25 people left. They're all like weak from starvation.
Yes.
And Shostakovich deliberately wrote this symphony to require the biggest orchestra that had ever been put on a stage. It was like 3 times the size of a normal orchestra.
Right.
Partly because he wanted it to be loud, partly people think because he wanted to give as many musicians as possible a job that they could go and do that got them off the front lines.
Right.
So Eliasberg's running around finding any musicians he can.
Yeah.
Whether or not they've ever played in an orchestra before, to drag them in to do this thing. But there are stories that have come down to us from the people who were there of just people literally just too weak to hold their instruments up. People dying during rehearsals, like orchestra musicians dying during rehearsals.
Jesus.
And they would get an extra food ration card if they turned up for rehearsals.
Mm-hmm.
But if they were late for rehearsals, they didn't get it. And one guy had to bury his wife in the morning, so he was late for the rehearsals, and Eliasberg refused to give him his extra food ration card because he was late for rehearsals.
The show must go on.
And then they eventually did the premiere performance of it. An hour before the performance, one of the artillery commanders on the Russian side bombed the Germans to shut them up for the performance. He bombed all of their positions so they would be too busy to fuck with them during the performance of this. Then they set up speakers pointing at the Germans to play so they could hear this thing.
Wow.
So it was this like big middle finger to the Germans. Motherfuckers, listen to what we're doing. We're performing a new Shostakovich just written for us.
Yeah.
You can go fuck yourselves. And they played this thing. There's this story that one of the German commanders apparently turned to one of his guys and said, you know, there's no way we will defeat a people that have this, that can pull this out of their ass at a moment like this, kind of basically thing.
He was right.
Well, he was right, but they talk about the people that attended the premiere performance of this in Leningrad, dressed to the nines in what they had left, all emaciated, thin,
surreal.
most of them knowing it was the last time they would ever attend a concert, and then most of them died afterwards.
Jesus.
There's no recording of this performance, sadly, but it probably wasn't great because most of the musicians were starving and not really great musicians in the first place anyway.
Right. Bunch of cowbells.
But it's like historically, the circumstances under which it was composed and the circumstances under which it was performed are historically unique, and it's a masterpiece. And then the last movement of it is like the victory movement, where he was predicting that the Russians would have this great victory against the Germans, and the last minute of the last movement is insanely loud. It gets louder and louder and louder and louder. It goes, it goes from forte to fortissimo to fortissimo. It's insanely bonkers loud.
Right.
And of course, they did win in the end, but it took them 872 days, I think the siege lasted.
Jesus.
I think between it and the siege of Stalingrad, it's the most bloody battle in human history. I think like millions of people died in this one battle. More deaths than Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and the bombing of Nazi Germany during World War II, Dresden, etc., combined in the siege of Leningrad. Like just insane.
So if
not only people dying from German artillery, but also just from starvation.
Yeah. And it's a little cold there as well. So if I look up Grace Under Pressure, I should see a picture of him and Leningrad and all those people. That's and the orchestra. That's amazing. That's an incredible story.
So back to Jerusalem.
Yes, please.
No symphonies composed there.
No.
Yeah. So Tacitus says the Romans didn't want to wait them out. They wanted to attack. They wanted to get in there, get some shit.
Yeah, booty, baby.
As Tacitus writes it, they wanted to prove their courage. The more perilous alternative, some prompted by courage, many by sheer ferocity and greed of grain.
Yeah.
Titus himself had Rome with all its wealth and pleasures before his eyes. Jerusalem must fall at once, or it would delay his enjoyment of them.
Well,
but Jerusalem had been strengthened by enormous works which were going to help the inhabitants defend the city. He says 2 hills of great height were fenced in by walls which had been skillfully oblique or bent inwards in such a manner that the flank of an assailant was exposed to missiles.
Lava.
So the walls are tilted in such a way that
hide.
if you're at the bottom, if you're at the bottom trying to throw up a ladder or trying to mine your way into the walls, they can just drop shit directly on you, and you drop big rocks on you.
Yeah, you're exposed. That's brilliant. And they had 60-foot high towers around the place. And like I think we mentioned a couple of minutes ago, there wasn't just one wall, there were 3 walls. So even if they had broken through the first one, and again, I know the Romans are keen on their booty, but Titus would have to take all 3 walls. So again, this was not looking good. As impatient as he was, this was going to be a tough nut to crack.
There were also walls surrounding the palace, including the Tower Antonia, named by Herod in honor of Marcus Antonius. Tacitus says the temple resembled a citadel and had its own walls, which were even more carefully constructed than the others. He also says it contained an inexhaustible spring. There were subterranean excavations in the hill and tanks and cisterns for holding rainwater. Not quite inexhaustible. Historians say there were 37 giant cisterns under the temple filled by winter rain, but siege timing was everything. The Romans attacked after Passover, knowing that the stores had already been used up. So Passover, March, April.
Yeah.
You know that winter is past. They've been filled up with some rain, but you know they're probably not all full. Time is of the essence kind of deal here.
Exactly.
Tacitus writes, the founders of the state had foreseen that frequent wars would result from the singularity of its customs, and so had made every provision against the most protracted siege, particularly after the city had been captured by Pompey. They decided to strengthen their fortifications and had spent the last century preparing for another invasion.
Yeah. But I have to add, but the next part of Tacitus, I think this is the next part when it says something, I don't have it in front of me. So if you're going to read it, stop me. But during the reign of Claudius, the Jews bought the rights to fortify our city. That's like going, hey, you and I might fight one day, but if it's okay with you, I'd like to buy from you the right to, I don't know, wear armor or take boxing lessons or maybe carry a knife. I mean, but if I pay you, you're cool with that, right? I don't know if that's true or not, but again, I wouldn't be surprised because this is Rome and it is all about the cash. So, and they seem to have got their money's worth because this place is a fortress within a fortress within a fortress.
But unfortunately, inside the fortress, within the fortress, within the fortress, they're attacking each other.
I didn't say it was perfect.